I'm Adam from the Digital Soup Podcast, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at gonnageek.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. The Intellectual Podcast starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Intellectual Podcast. I'm Dave Dawson.
And I'm Whitney Wegman.
And we're here with the second half of our interview with Lauren Shell. Again, just a really cool interview. I'm really glad that you connected us and got that together.
Lauren is a cool lady.
She's super cool.
Yeah.
And before we get into her interview, I want to say congratulations to her. She just posted on Facebook.
Yes, she's joining the Local 44 on Tuesday.
So her
congratulations to Lauren.
On a trajectory and moving up, and that's exciting and wonderful news. And she has all of our deepest heartfelt congratulations on that.
Well, and what I love on the show, I don't know if it was the first half or the second half, but she mentioned that she wanted to get into the union. And of course, you know, as we do on the show, we're like, put it out into the universe. Just do it. Just say it loud and say it proud, and it will happen.
Yep.
And man, it's what, less than a month?
Yeah, about a month.
About a month.
Yeah, month and a week maybe.
Making magic happen here on the Intellectual.
There you go. Yeah, that's what it is. Speaking of magic, San Diego Comic-Con just completed here in town.
Comic-Con is kind of magical.
Yeah.
It's like a nerd vacation.
This year, especially for me, was kind of magical.
Yeah, I
got to be on a panel.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, when we started the podcast many moons ago now, we wrote on a piece of paper. We had two pieces of paper. One was like, who would we love to interview? Like dream guests.
I'm still throwing Patrick Stewart out there.
He's been on the list from day one. Like Patrick Stewart. We want to get Patrick Stewart on this. But, you know, we had this list of people, and we've gotten a few of them, right? Then the secondary list was like things that we want to achieve because of the podcast. And one of them was be on a panel or moderate a panel at Comic-Con. And thanks to former guest of the Intellectual Podcast, Neil Halford, he brought that dream to life for me this year. I got to be on the Heroes of the Mic podcasting panel at Comic-Con, which was incredible.
And you guys did a great job. Like, it was...
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Like, you were there.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. We had, you know, it wasn't a huge crowd. It wasn't like Hall H or anything, but the people who were there were very interested and engaged, and it was nice getting the take from so many different ranges, you know, because there's people who are just starting their podcast. There are people who have been doing it, you know, longer, or who got into it a different route, like the gentleman who was doing the Star Trek.
Larry Nemeczek.
Yeah. Larry, because
Dr. Trek.
He had, you know, been a guest for so many, you know, X episodes, and to the point where it's like, well, maybe you should be doing this because you're here all the time anyway.
And you're really good at it.
So yeah, it was interesting to see how people come into it and the different subjects they choose. I was very interested. So the gal she currently has the television show.
The web series, Macabre Mondays.
Yeah, the Macabre Mondays.
Malia Miglino.
But she was saying that a lot of times it's a challenge. People don't want her to film. And so she was, you know, maybe hypothetically thinking about turning it into a podcast. I think that would be great because, I mean, as you're going through, it's like telling a scary story, right? You could describe, you know, all the things you're seeing around you, and I think that might be even more effective than doing it on film. Because on film, okay, you have like the blurry, you know, night vision, whatever. But really, having gone on a ghost hunt before, the experiential stuff is the more interesting stuff, I think.
Turn it into theater of the mind.
Yeah. I mean, at least...
I've watched a few episodes of Macabre Mondays. Like, she's really good.
Yeah?
She really does her research. Like, it's impressive. Yeah. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should totally check it out.
Oh, I definitely will. I love stuff like that.
Of course you do.
Of course I used to be a ghost hunter in Kansas City. My manager at World Market, I'm not even playing, my manager at World Market was the head of this ghost hunting team in Kansas City, And he and I got to talking one day at work. I'm like, that's so cool. And he's like, come, join us. I'm like, you just became the coolest boss ever. And yes, I will go ghost hunting with you. And so we did. And it was awesome.
Could you tell that I was like super nervous?
No, not at all. You were very well spoken.
I was so nervous. I thought for sure like you could hear my voice quivering.
No, you seem to, of the group that was up there, you seem to really have thought out, what you wanted to say, and you were the most poised, I think.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Very kind of you to say.
You're welcome.
I have been doing it a while now, and I have been interviewed about the podcast a couple of times. So, like, I've been on Tonight in San Diego talking about it. I've been on KOSI News talking about it. So I have a little bit of experience, not Comic-Con panel experience.
Yeah,
although I have that now.
Now you do.
But I think I kind of know how to answer things succinctly and with some well thought out responses. But God, it was fun.
Well, and also, as an awesome perk to having done the panel, you got a pass. I know you thought that you were just going to get like a day pass for the day of the panel.
I ended up getting like a whole pass.
Yeah, you got a pass for
preview night and everything. It was crazy.
Entire extended weekend, Wednesday through Sunday. So what did you do with your magical Comic-Con pass, the coveted pass?
I made it into Hall H for the first time ever.
That's awesome.
I got to go see the Star Trek Discovery panel.
That's a good one.
Which I love Star Trek Discovery, so that was a big deal for me. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, but I was able to basically walk in.
Yeah, this year was fascinating.
Yeah.
I walked in on Thursday to the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul panel.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It was great. I got to see Bryan Cranston was so snarky. I loved it.
So I saw Star Trek Discovery. I stuck around for the trailer park presentation, which was like, I don't know, 45 minutes of trailers.
Oh.
Movie trailers.
Oh.
Which was fun. Got to see a few trailers that I hadn't seen before. And then it was Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, which was cool.
Nice.
Bumblebee.
Oh, yeah. The
which
new
was cool.
Transformers.
The new Transformers movie. And it looks good.
Really?
Actually.
I have mixed feelings about Transformers.
Well, the guy directing it, it's a prequel.
Okay.
To Michael Bay's Transformer movies. So it's like Bumblebee's origin story, and he's a Volkswagen Bug.
Aww.
And kind of across the board, he wanted to bring more of the kind of G1 Transformers, the 1980s cartoon forms back. So there's more like body shielding on the robots than there are in Michael Bay's. And they look like robots instead of... They look like robots with actual bodies as opposed to just a bunch of freaking shards of metal. So it's cool. So Bumblebee's got the kind of classic 80s cartoon Bumblebee look, which is nice. And the rest of the Transformers that are in the movie have the same kind of aesthetic, which is cool.
We're going through a big 80s throwback right now between Stranger Things and Ready Player One and...
Yeah, it's
a lot of 80s.
30 years ago. So
I know, it's on that 30-year cycle.
It's all the Gen Xers wanting to relive their childhood now that they're in their midlife.
Now that we're adults and can afford to do so.
What else did I get to see? Venom.
That one looks great.
Tom Hardy was there.
Tom Hardy was there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And, Glass. M. Night Shyamalan's movie, which is the third of the series of Unbreakable, Split.
Split was so good. Oh my god.
I haven't seen Split.
James McAvoy is brilliant.
I haven't seen Split because I wrote off M. Night Shyamalan a few years ago.
That one's worth it.
And that's what I've heard.
Watch that man like do all like the accents he can do and the different characterizations and
so I got to see the trailer for the new movie Glass and it looks really good. I liked Unbreakable. I enjoyed Unbreakable, and I was hoping he would make the sequels, because when he made Unbreakable, he talked about it being kind of the start of a little franchise of comic book films that don't have spandex and stuff in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer for Glass looks amazing. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. What else? There were a couple other panels that I sat through, but those were kind of like the big highlights. Oh, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Spider-Man movie coming out. That looks amazing. I mean, really amazing. So I'm super excited for that. So, but I got to sit in Hall H. Like, it was incredible. I couldn't believe it. Just walked in, basically. I waited in line for like 40 minutes.
I also got to have the full Hall H experience.
Yeah, you did the night.
I camped out one night.
And everything.
Yeah. Slept surprisingly well for sleeping on concrete. I have a really comfy sleeping bag, though. But yeah, so Mikey P and I went in for the Saturday Hall H, which was all of the WB's stuff, which included Aquaman, Shazam, Godzilla, Wonder Woman, the Fantastic Beast movie.
The Harry Potter film.
The Harry Potter film. Yeah, and then of course like Deadpool later on in the day, and we were 4 rows back from the stage. Like, we were super, super close. It was awesome. And I actually got to get up and ask a question at the panel, so that was cool. Ryan Reynolds answered my question.
You asked the Deadpool panel a question dressed up as who?
I was dressed as Hope Summers from the comic books, because obviously in Deadpool she's a child and they've totally changed her origin story. So I don't really know if she'll show up later on, but that would be awesome. My true hope was that Ryan Reynolds would be like, awesome Hope Summers costume. I'd be like, thank you so much. You should cast me in the next movie. I'm an actor.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you've seen in the last 24, 48 hours, but the Fox-Disney deal has been approved by both boards and both shareholders. So sometime early next year, the merger will be complete, and all those characters are coming to the MCU.
That'll be great. But I feel like Disney and Deadpool maybe don't commingle so great. I don't know.
I think people forget that Disney has had a lot of really interesting films in their lore over the years that aren't under the Disney label.
That's true.
And Marvel is a separate label from the Disney label.
It's true.
Disney may distribute the movies, but they've got a lot of different labels that they can distribute the films under. And Marvel Studios is a separate label that they distribute movies under. So
it has that distancing
effect. It has
a
little bit of that distancing effect that they're able to like let things kind of go through. So I'm super excited.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna pull a Lauren Shell and I'm gonna put this out in the universe. I desperately want to play Hope Summers or an equivalent superhero. I mean, Hope Summers would be my number one choice, but I want to be a superhero in a feature film. So putting that out into the universe.
Hashtag Whitney for Hope.
Yeah, Whitney for Hope. I love it. Hashtag Whitney for Hope. And just keep on, at Ryan Reynolds. I think his is actually at Velocity Reynolds.
Van City Reynolds.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. So on your social media, folks, please use hashtag Whitney for Hope, and we'll just keep putting that out.
I'm going to harass Ryan Reynolds until he puts me in a movie.
Hashtag Marvel, hashtag Whitney for Hope, hashtag Deadpool, and hashtag X-Men, and at Van City Reynolds. Like, those are all the things we want you to put in the post. And do it as often as you can.
I would love that. I mean, I'm a redhead, and I know her read all the comics regarding Hope Summers, so I feel like I'm up on the research, and I could probably kick somebody's ass. I'm in really good shape right now. I got guns, kind of.
Yeah, those are pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. I can go to the gym. Yeah. I just flex my muscles, people. I know you guys can't see it, but I have these lovely...
She's got some definition.
Little biceps. Biceps.
Yeah, little definition there. It's kind of hot. So anyway, how was your con? Because we didn't actually spend a whole lot of time together.
We really didn't. We were like... I went every single day except Sunday. By Sunday, I was just freaking exhausted. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm I'm gonna go do my, because I was doing a show at the same time as Comic-Con.
Right.
So like Friday night, I had to go for my call time. Saturday night, so that was during the Deadpool thing, and Deadpool got over with at 6:15. My call time for the theater is 7, so I was literally like flagging down an Uber, and I'm like, to the theater as fast as you can. Changing like out of my costume in the back of the Uber, and I had the coolest Uber driver, this guy named Chris. As soon as I got in, he goes, "You're Hope Summers." Like, yes, I am. And then we got in this whole long discussion about the Fox Disney merger and hypothetical things that could be done, and about Infinity Wars. He was like the coolest nerd Uber driver ever. Perfect dude to be picking people up at Comic-Con.
Nice.
So shout out to Christopher, the cool Uber driver, wherever you are. Yeah, I had a really good con. I tried to do a lot of the activations, the experiences, which was really challenging because, of course, those are outdoors and they're free to anyone. So the lines get
crowds.
Excruciatingly long very quickly. But I really love Sci-Fi Channel. My gosh, like as far as like cool,
they've come out hard the last 2 years.
Yeah, and this year, I mean, because a lot of people have like kind of pulled back on the swag and activities and stuff, and they're still like, they had a karaoke bus, they had a human claw machine, they had all this like original fan art that if you got there early enough, you could get the fan art and stuff. So they're really like, their branding, they're trying to be very inclusive and like, you are a part of our network, and we want to hear from you as a community of sci-fi.
Well, I think they're doing a lot of damage control. So they kind of damaged their brand for a while there because they walked away from sci-fi and went to that SYFY branding. And when they did that, they like shut down a lot of like the great sci-fi shows and said they weren't going to focus on sci-fi anymore. It was going to be kind of a more generic, regular, old school cable network channel.
Which is weird, because why would you be the sci-fi? Why would you be called sci-fi?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's your brand, man.
But like 2 years ago, they said, well, we're going to come back to, being a genre channel and like pushing for more of that kind of content. So I think they've come out really hard because they're trying to do a lot of damage control and rebuild the brand.
But yeah, so I loved going to that. I really wanted to go and get on the Castle Rock panel, which is Stephen King, because I love Stephen King.
And J.J. Abrams, right?
And J.J. Abrams, yeah. They've been doing a lot of stuff together. But yeah, it was massive line, so didn't get to go do that. But yeah, I got to do a lot of stuff. I actually hung out with Mikey a ton this year. We, of course, on Friday, both dressed up as Avengers. I dressed up as Tony Stark. And had little.
It was awesome.
Thank you. I had little flares of Iron Man. That was a fascinating day for me because I actually, did full beard and stuff, and it really tripped people out because I looked pretty doodly, and it did not take very much. And
it's those guns you're sporting,
right?
Now.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some of the weirdest looks because it took people a minute because it was very subtle. Like I had the arc reactor shirt and I had the Iron Man hand, but other than that, like I had the Tony Stark glasses, my hair slicked back, and a suit. And
I saw your photos. I didn't get to see you that day, but I saw the pictures of you, and I don't know, you look doodly or not, but it was disturbing to me that I was very attracted to Tony Stark that day. So for whatever that's worth, it's just like, come on. Tony's never looked so good. Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, so Mikey was dressed as Thor, so we ran around and took some pictures together. And Mikey and I also got to go to the Ready Player One party on preview night, which was, so it was done by Damn Good Shindigs, which is some gals I know from up in LA. And so I kind of had the inside scoop on when tickets are going on sale. So I got some. And yeah, it was amazing. Like it was just so cool, like neon everywhere. Everybody in there was in cosplay or like 80s gear.
I totally forgot when you said you were going to that and you didn't know what to wear. I should have told you to wear your Marty McFly outfit.
I thought about that after the fact. Literally the next day whenever I was doing my transgender Tony Stark, I'm like, damn it.
It would have been the perfect opportunity.
Well, what was great was, so they had the Flux Capacitors, was one of the bands that played. The lead singer is dressed as Marty McFly. And they were amazing. Like, I had never heard that band before. They're they just kick ass. Like, they can do any song, any cover. The Library Bards opened for them, and they do parody songs, and they make them nerdy. And then Flux Capacitors played for a little while, and then Gigi Edgley's band got on stage, and they played for a little while.
Nice.
They did some great Eurythmics covers. And then the Flux Capacitors came back on and did, like, the rest of the night. They just were like Energizer bunnies, man. They were amazing.
That's cool. Have you seen the movie yet? Ready Player One.
I have not. I have not.
I've got it on digital. You should come out and watch it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's amazing.
I've been wanting to.
Cool.
Because I've been so busy this summer. Like, I've been acting in a lot of stuff. And so I've missed out on that. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet. I feel like there's another one that just came out that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go see that. The horror film. Somebody told me, what was it? Something genetics.
Quiet Place?
No, Quiet Place was amazing. John and I watched that recently.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's very good. No. Hereditary. Somebody told me I would enjoy that.
Did you see Annihilation?
No.
So good.
Is it good? Yeah.
Yeah, really good. So, anyway, things we need to catch up on, movies we need to see.
Yeah, of course. Lots of things.
Your play's done after next weekend.
Yeah.
So maybe you got some more free time. I'm
theory.
not going out of town in August, so
We need to catch up on some movies.
Catch up on some movies together. Maybe schedule some days to go up to LA and do some podcasts with some people up there.
Absolutely.
Actually, I already got a day set for Larry Nemeczek.
Woo!
So, maybe we can bundle up a few things and start getting some more interviews into the show and keep things rolling forward.
Would you guys like some more interviews? Please send us comments and suggestions on who we should track down. We'll find them at Starbucks somewhere in Los Angeles.
Stalking people with a microphone.
Patrick Stewart, do you go to Starbucks?
Oh my God. All right. We'll keep putting Patrick Stewart out into the universe. In the meantime, you can listen to the second half of our interview with Lauren Schell, recent union inductee. And, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Intellectual Podcast.
Hello there, citizens. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the floaty that will not flush no matter how many times you try in the toilet bowl of crime. I am Darkwing Duck, telling you please, talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. Whatever the heck that means. After all, you are watching Intellectual Podcast with your ears.
And welcome back to the Intellectual Podcast. I'm Dave Dawson.
And I'm Whitney Wegman.
And before we ended last episode, Whitney dropped a bombshell of a question on our guest. Whitney, I'll let you tee this all back up and reintroduce our guest for everybody.
Well, so our guest for today is Lauren Melody Schell, and she is a fabricator and art designer for many films, some of them of which I'm sure you've seen. And our very last question before we left last week was, is there a actor that you've met in the course of doing your job that left you a little fangirlish?
Yes. So basically,
I love that question always results in a little giggle from whoever's asked.
I know, because it's silly for me to. I've worked with a lot of different actors, and I did just get done working with Jennifer, and she was actually really great. Jennifer Morrison, she's from Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Really nice, very professional, just on it. She was just really great. But Kate Flannery from The Office, from The American Office, was the principal in on the Hulu show All Night that I worked. I was the prop master for that. And Kate was the school principal in that show. And so it was one of those things where they were asking me they throw around the actor's name, first name, and I, I'm like, Kate, great, Kate, okay, fine. And they were like, okay, so we need you to make sure, call Kate, see if she has some glasses already that she wears, because she wears glasses for seeing, but we needed to make sure they had the non-reflective glasses, or if she had a pair that we could use, blah, blah, blah. So they gave me her number, and I was like, okay, great. So I just called her. I'm like, hey, Kate, I'm working on this. And she's like, oh, yeah. And we were talking about the glasses. She goes, I think I do, yeah. And so the next day I emailed her again, and I was like, just double checking, seeing if you had found this out, because I had and now have her personal email address. And I'm just chatting with her, and it didn't dawn on me to check who she was. I don't know.
She's just a person you're talking to.
It's just a person that I'm checking props with. It just didn't dawn on me. And then I was talking to my prop assistant, Megan, and I was like, so I just spoke with Kate, and I think we've got the glasses that she needs. And she goes, you spoke with Kate? I'm like, yeah. She goes, how was she? and I was just like, well, she answered the phone, and she's promptly responded to my emails, so she's a good, decent human being, she was alive when I spoke to her last. I don't know what you want me to say. And she was like, you do know who she is, right? I'm like, no clue. And she was like, it's Kate Flannery from The Office. I was like, wait, what? and she goes, yeah. And she pulled up a picture of her, and I went, oh! I was like, oh my gosh, she's awesome. And Megan's like, yeah, I know. And so that was probably one of the inadvertent moments where I'm talking to, because I'm not seeing them when I'm talking to them on the phone or over emails, and inadvertent fangirl moment where it was just like, oh my gosh, she's so nice. Oh, that's so awesome. Moving on with life. But yeah, no, Kate she was fantastic. She was great in that show, and she was a really fun person to work with too.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody in the business that you hope you get to work with soon? Is there a particular director or producer doing the type of shows that you would just dream to be on?
It's horrible. I don't know names. I know shows. I don't keep track of.
That's fine. What shows would you be interested in working on?
I want to work on pieces that have. I'm huge into sci-fi kind of genre, and I love almost like westerns, sort of, not westerns, but the first season of Westworld was awesome for me, because I loved the way that I just love everything about the way that looks. I would never want to work on that show, but I love the way that it looks, and that kind of style, space cowboy type thing.
So are you thinking more in the vein of
Firefly? Yes, of course. Everyone's working on a Joss Whedon show. I mean, okay, there you go. There's a name, Joss Whedon. I want to work with Joss Whedon one day. I don't care what he's working on. I want to work with Joss Whedon.
If we can say his name 5 more times, he'll appear.
Joss Whedon.
It's like Beetlejuice. Joss Whedon, Joss Whedon. Yeah. Where is he?
Where is he? No, I would love to work with him, because every television show that I have watched of his, I am in love with. I love everything that he imbues into his work. So yeah, that 100%. Joss Whedon. But yeah, no, I always feel like I get Joss adjacent. I've worked with a lot of people that have worked with Joss Whedon, and I'm like, maybe one day. Yes, it's maybe one day it'll be me.
I guess you're 1 degree separated at this point, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I worked with Adam Bush on Dave Made a Maze as well, and he was on Buffy for years. So, yeah, it's just one, and Nathan Fillion was a voice for Yama Song, and again, just so close yet so far, worked on his puppet, didn't meet him, but.
You're almost there.
Almost there. So close.
You worked on Fillion's puppet?
Yeah, they he was the
Maybe you should introduce what Yamasong is for those who don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't Nathan. It was actually
George Takei?
Yes, it was his puppet. It was his puppet that I worked on. But no, so Yamasong was a Benraku style of Japanese puppetry film that I worked on with Sam Koji Hale. He was the director. And
the sun has come out.
I
Whitney's
know.
about ready to burst into flames.
I'm like, I've been trying to shield this arm for quite some time.
This is where it's helpful to be Filipino.
You got like these pasty
wanna
white
switch
girls over
seats,
here
Whit?
on this
No,
end.
that's all right. I can hide from the sun. Yeah, two redheads that are just as white as can be.
Super white.
Like hiding from the sun, and David's like,
If I lean,
all right with
I
it."
lean this way, only my back is getting hit right now. So yeah, it's Sam is amazing. He was a great director. He's such a talented designer and sculptor. He's kind of the whole package. But he created this world called Yamasong, and it's a sci-fi fantasy world where you've got these mechanical, or you have the evil queen that is turning the natives of this world into her mechanical slaves, and you've got the resistance, or the Tarpons are the turtle people that are also part of the natives of this world, and they're fighting back. And then it's just beautiful. But we've got like an all-star cast for the voice work on that movie. And we got like Whoopi Goldberg and George Takei and Nathan Fillion and
Abigail Breslin, right?
Abigail Breslin, and oh my gosh, I mean, there was just Ed Asner. I mean, there was not an unknown name in the cast. Like it's everybody. That movie is in film circuits right now. Festival circuits, yeah. And it was just down in Atlanta, and it got some decent reviews too. So we were all really excited about that. But yeah, they wasn't Nathan's puppet that I worked on. It was George's puppet. But yeah,
That's still pretty awesome.
yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Are you going to get a chance to go see it at any of the film festivals?
Probably not. I never get to leave.
Because God forbid you take a vacation. And,
I know.
I mean, it wouldn't be a vacation still.
I'm hoping they're actually going to bring it to LA. There's been hints at possibly bringing it to LA, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll make its way back down here.
Wouldn't it be fun to walk the red carpet at Grauman's?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
That would be. That probably will not happen, but it would be.
Well, if you do end up doing that, let me tell you, I have a great person who can make a dress for you, Adela Garcia.
Nice.
Does Adela's custom designs there in LA.
Nice.
So, because you would need that.
Because I would need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She made
that is
some nice
true.
stuff for Whitney.
Yeah. The dress I wore for the San Diego Film Awards was something that she made.
Yeah.
So.
Super cute.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
Well, cool. What's next for you?
Nothing at the moment. I'm actually, no, that's not true. I have a meeting on Friday with Sam to possibly work on another puppet show.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'll be with Heather Henson's company, Handmade Puppet Dreams.
Did you ever imagine you'd work on so much puppet stuff?
Never. Not once did it ever cross my mind that this was going to be my life.
No, you didn't sit as a child watching Sesame Street going, someday
No,
I want to
and it's so funny because
work with
the people
puppets.
that I work with are all like, I loved puppets from my childhood, and I've always wanted to, and I've grown up, and I knew that's what I was going to do. I was like,
they
Please
all
tell
sound
me they talk like that.
they all
Yes,
sound
they
Monty
do.
Python-ish
They do.
like that.
They do talk like that. They gesture just like that too. No. Yes.
Behold my beautiful puppet.
Oh yes, look at my gorgeous puppetry. I made
yet.
Well, I made puppets The first and only time that as a child, oddly enough, I did work as a performer, like a puppeteer at my church. We had a puppet team at my church when I was a kid. And I worked for years doing puppet skits and things like that for like children's church and things like that. And they would do, in the sermon, they would have little puppet breaks, and we would do, it's a thing.
I did not know this about you.
Yeah, in like Southern
So you may not have
culture.
known that you were going to be working with puppets so much, but the Lord did.
But the Lord did. I mean,
The Lord prepared
seriously,
you.
He did. Like, it's weird. It's really weird. No, it was so funny because I did that puppetry stuff, like, as a kid, It's not like I was a puppeteer, like, we were just having fun. But these little, Muppet puppets. And then when we were at UVA, I was asked to make the puppets for the Forgetting River.
Yeah, which was a show that Marianne Kubik put on, right?
And that was the first time I'd ever built puppets. And I actually won an award from the Kennedy Center for those.
Yeah, because those are pretty extensive puppets.
I know. I was like, I didn't even know that they were there, like, judging. I knew that they were coming to judge the actors. I had no idea they were there to judge the puppets. And then I got an award in the mail, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know anyone was there to look at those. I'm like, that's great.
Avenue Q is playing up in Carlsbad right now.
Oh! That would be worthwhile to go see. Have you seen Avenue Q yet?
I have not. I know most of the music, but I've never seen the show. No.
It'd be fun to go see.
No.
John and I went. I think UVA did a version of Avenue Q.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where we saw it.
Over Heritage.
Yeah, it made John sad.
That's the manager.
He's like, it's too real.
It is.
It kind of is.
kinda
Like, I know
is.
it's puppets, but some of the subject matter, it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what is my purpose?
Yeah.
Do I have one? Not sure. So if you want to go see puppets that make you kind of
That
sad,
makes you a little depressed. Only because you relate to them so well. It's like, wow.
We're going to disarm you with puppets,
I
but then we're
know.
going to hit you with a dose of
It's
reality at the same time.
Truth. So true.
there's a lot of things that have been doing that recently. Do you guys ever watch BoJack Horseman?
No.
Don't. Don't. If you want a cartoon that makes you want to go drink and feel a little sad,
Go
watch that. But if not, stay away from it.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, and was it Dark Crystal is coming to Netflix with a prequel
it's
series.
a prequel.
Yeah.
It's a prequel
Yeah.
to the Dark Crystal.
I want on that project so badly.
Well, yeah.
I know.
Do it, man.
I want on
Say it 3 times.
Say it
put
3
in.
times. And David Bowie will appear.
David Bowie will appear. Oh,
No, sorry.
Ouch.
I know.
That was Labyrinth.
That was Labyrinth, not Dark Crystal. I know. I just want David Bowie to appear. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That can't happen anymore.
No, God, I want on that job. I gotta know some people that know some people with that. It's a very small puppet world down in LA.
I would imagine that it's a very small puppet world, period. End of statement.
Time to pull on some marionette strings and
Maybe someone will be listening to this podcast and they'll be like, hey.
You know, that's happened before. That's why we always say, like, what
never
would be
know
your
who's
dream
listening.
job?
Yeah.
Throw it out there. Shout it to the universe.
Yep.
Someone will hear.
yeah.
They might throw tomatoes at you, but someone will hear.
Someone will hear. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. This show's listened to in like 41 countries around the world.
Nice.
I don't understand that, but
That's okay.
it's listened to.
That's okay. That's awesome.
So you never know. You just never know who's going to be.
Joss Whedon, Joss Whedon, Joss Whedon.
Is he here? Did he show up?
Is he here?
Every time now that I hear Joss Whedon, that's what's going to happen.
You're gonna say it multiple
Do the
times.
damn Beetlejuice thing.
Yep.
No Josh Whedon, but not playing. I'm pretty sure I saw Ed O'Neill a second ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway. So, all right. So, next for you is you have a meeting with Sam,
Yeah.
and we're throwing out there into the world Dark Crystal
Oh,
prequel.
yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
And Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. And other than that, you get to have a little vacation.
I know. I'm down here in San Diego. It makes me happy.
What are you going to do here in San Diego while you're on your vacation?
I have absolutely no idea.
What do you
like
wanna do
whatever
in San
I want to
Diego?
do.
I wish I wasn't going out of town. Like one of my favorite things to do is like show people around.
It's just so great. I can't wait to just be here.
Well, you are here.
I know.
So you don't have to wait.
I know. I made it. It's great.
Yeah,
That
it's
train
already
ride took
started.
8 years.
You've had a plate of
I know.
chips.
I've already eaten an entire plate of chips all by myself.
And
Not all by yourself. She ate some.
She
too.
had like 2.
I had a couple.
I can't.
But you know what? We're on happy hour, which means dollar oysters. Woo! I like oysters. I know you've never had an oyster.
Never had an oyster.
You will have an oyster today.
All right.
Lauren, why haven't you had an
I
oyster?
will never say
Come for a podcast, stay for the oysters.
the oysters. It's like my mom always said. Why do you want me to say why
Yes,
I've never
why
had an
haven't you
oyster?
ever had an
Because they
oyster?
remind me of boogers on a shell.
Boogers on a
and
shell.
I just can't do it. Like I can't imagine them being tasty, so I just never have eaten them.
Well, we're gonna dress it up really pretty.
All
We'll
right.
put some lemon. We'll put some of the red sauce on it.
I heard like the hot sauce is the thing.
Yeah.
Like so.
It burns your taste buds. So
I
you
know,
don't taste
right?
the
If I
slime.
can just like get it hot enough, it won't matter. It'll be great.
You gotta hide the brine. You gotta hide the slime. You gotta close your eyes and
I know. Like,
hold your
it just
nose and
sounds
just go for it, right?
And this is why I've never eaten an oyster.
And y'all, they're aphrodisiacs. Explain that one.
Can't.
I think it has something to do with what they look like. But
Really? You might want to get that checked out.
my sister and Mike Peterson have been on this kick about how if you look at roast beef sandwiches
Oh God.
a certain
Oh,
way,
God.
and they've been like sharing photos over and over and over again. It's like, what the hell?
Don't ruin roast beef.
No.
You know you're gonna check it out.
No, I know they're not. The two of them.
Nope.
Johnny Joy Killers. That's my new name.
Nope. Oh man.
So you're here for a week, right?
Oh, 3 or 4 days.
3 or
yeah.
4 days. That's like a week.
Yeah.
What to do in 3 or 4 days?
Well, we're doing the paint night. I'm really
So
stoked
we're
about
gonna
the
go
paint
to a wine and paint
wine and
night.
paint night. I love those. I love them so much.
There are a bazillion of them all over.
More because
San
of the
Diego.
wine, I think.
Yes. Here's your bottle. Here's my 6. You know, like it's gonna be great. I can't wait. Nothing like drunk painting. I can't tell you. I can't like recommend that enough. Drunk painting.
I don't know if I can. I can have a drink, but drunk painting, you might get like a white canvas with a red line.
You know,
That's about it.
it's art. It's art. It is what you want to get out of it. I went to this exhibit. They have this. Oh God, I gotta push the Japan House. It's right next to the Sony Theater and the near Grauman's and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Japan House, and it's a cultural. It's run by like the Japanese like cultural exchange and consulate kind of thing in an effort to get people to come visit Japan. But they had this installation of art from these Japanese, and it was just paper art. It was amazing. Like I can't. There was one. It was called The Corner, and it was a canvas about as big as this table, and with just a corner of a piece of paper sticking up in the center of it. I stared at it for like 15 minutes. I couldn't walk away. Like I was mesmerized by the corner of the. I know it was like, why do I love this so much? I took pictures of it. It's a corner of a piece of paper.
Standing straight up.
Yes, standing straight up in the middle of this white. I was
There's an interesting thing with Japanese art, that kind of stark nature of it. It's just.
Well, they rotate out different things, and the paper one's gone now, but they'll have another thing. It's probably already in. I don't even know what it is, but I guarantee you it's going to be amazing because it's Japanese art. I'm like, yes.
You should go to Balboa Park and check out the museums up there while you're here.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't we do that?
Did we go to the Japanese tea garden, though?
No.
Oh, I don't think we did.
The bonsai garden.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I've been there when they had the Cherry Orchard Festival.
Oh.
That was pretty cool.
I bet that's cool.
Yeah. Cherry blossom.
I love going to Balboa Park and just see all the street performers.
We went to that one museum, or that one walking. I got the coffee mug there. I don't even remember.
Oh, we
what
went
that.
to the Spanish Village Arts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There's so much to see in that park.
there is.
It's hard to do it in a day.
Yeah, that's like a working artist studio.
Yeah,
that area.
yeah, that was really
But
awesome.
there's a lot of different museums all through there that you can check out. Gosh, there's the zoo. There's an aquarium.
We've been to the aquarium.
Yeah, the one over by Scripps. I guess it is the Scripps Aquarium.
Birch Aquarium.
Yeah. What else? There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked.
San Diego's a huge county. So.
I know. I'm super stoked. I'm like, just anything to get me out of LA for a bit. Joss Whedon.
Just Whedon.
Just like you throw that out there.
Josh Whedon's totally taken a little bit of time to be down in San Diego too.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't you want a vacation in San Diego?
Because it probably reminds them of the trauma of coming to Comic-Con. Folks like Joss Whedon.
I have to imagine that coming to Comic-Con when you're at that level is a whole different experience than just coming to Comic-Con, right? That's like, we're going to take the secret back way to get to everything we want.
Yeah.
We're going to put on a mask so nobody knows who we are, doesn't bother. Like, that's when you can be a celebrity and enjoy stuff and not get bothered because everybody's wearing a costume and no one knows who you are. It's probably awesome, to be totally honest.
I love how enthusiastic she gets.
She
The
is-
octave goes up like 3.
Yeah. Yep.
It's when you can tell I'm enthusiastic.
I remember the first time she came on the show as a guest, and we were talking, and she went back and listened to it, and she's like, "What was I doing? My voice was just up here the whole time." I was like, "Well, you were excited and a little nervous, maybe."
Super stoked.
So the next time we recorded, she's like, "I'm Whitney
And
Wegman."
Whitney Wegman.
I'm like, okay, other direction, course correction.
Trying.
I think it's lovely.
My normal speaking voice is a little, lower than what it was that day. But I do have little spikes of the... This is the best!
We need to find a project where you can voice like a squirrel or something. That'd just be amazing.
Yes. The squirrel that's always overly excited about things.
Super excited.
Acorns!
Look at that! It's an acorn! I'm gonna take it back from
Oh, man.
We haven't even been drinking, guys.
Nope.
the tree.
Completely sober.
So David put that out into the universe. I'm going to get a call in 2 weeks. Hey, we have this
We had
really...
this squirrel part. We thought of you immediately. Yeah.
Let's listen to this podcast.
Hey, I turned Merrick into a ferret, so it's
Oh, no.
it's not out of the norm for me to do that to actors. Too funny.
What would it be called, though? The Adventures of...
folks.
We're doing
we're
all right.
Thank you. Happy hour right now, so just
She wants oysters.
Do you want oysters?
We both want oysters.
Okay.
Do we have time to live broadcast
It's dollar oysters.
Lauren's first
Tuesday
experience of an oyster?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Oh,
only. How many you want
dear.
to do?
One.
One for each of us for now.
Let's do 3.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm
No,
vegan.
just 2. Okay.
Hey, singular oyster. I'm gonna.
This will be fun. We'll see what weird noises come out of Lauren now.
jeez. jeez.
That sounded somewhat inappropriate.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
did not mean it that way.
It's all right.
I'll say inappropriate things and don't mean to.
It happens.
So my question is going to be, what would that be called? The Adventures of Merrick the Ferret and... You gotta come up with a name for this squirrel.
Babette.
Babette the squirrel.
Yes. Yes.
Sounds like she should be a French squirrel.
She could be a French squirrel. She's super excited French squirrel.
Would her name then be Bebe?
If we're gonna have a French squirrel, we have to get Caroline involved in this.
No, but then you got to do like the weird thing, and instead of making Caroline French, she's got to be something completely random, like Nigerian.
Yes. Babette the Nigerian squirrel.
Well, I flash back to like Sean Connery in the movie where they cut each other's heads off. There can be only one.
The Highlander?
The Highlander? Yeah. Right? He plays the Spaniard.
Oh,
Yes.
good point.
Yes.
Good point.
And the Belgian Christopher Lambert plays the Scot. Like, Hollywood doesn't know how to cast people.
Yeah.
Strange casting choices.
Yeah.
Very strange casting choices.
But that's kind of the charm and the joy of that film, right? To watch them
Is it
play those
though?
weird parts.
Oh gosh.
That's too funny. So now we're going to sit here
We're going to sit here just to have
and we're going to anticipate your first oyster experience. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to change batteries because I don't want to lose power in the
Very
middle
good.
of this moment.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
Fair enough.
I'll be back in just a moment after I've changed the batteries. Hold on. Okay. So we've got some power in the recorder now, and we've got some oysters on the table.
Okay, so
We had mentioned before that this disgusting-looking piece of food, if you want to call it food, is an aphrodisiac at that. Whitney, can you explain to me, staring at this thing on your plate, why anybody would think that's an aphrodisiac?
no,
Come back with a refill of water. Is there? Do we need anything else besides the water?
no.
No.
No water.
Thank you.
Just a whole lot of courage, I think.
You know, I don't really know. I mean, this is one of those like
Lauren's gagging.
you don't even have it near your face yet.
It's just on the plate.
I mean, I would say like the first person who probably ate this was probably really desperate. But you know,
Really
I feel
desperate.
I feel that way about eggs. Like, who was the first person who went, that thing just came out of that thing's butt. I think I'm gonna
I
eat
think
that.
I'm going to eat that.
So there's a lot of things out there that it's like, whoever thought that was a good idea?
Would you eat that, Sean? I'm asking my 8-year-old nephew.
No.
No?
No. He's a smart kid.
All right. So the gentleman who brought this out to us said that we should try just a finger dip of this. This is a vinaigrette. I've never had.
That looks like cilantro, so I'm going to not eat that.
It's very lemony. But we have lemons we can squirt on these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you the big slice.
Yes, I'm going to need
drown that
all
thing.
the lemon I can.
So we're gonna start by squirting
Alright,
some
so-
lemon on this thing. Theoretically, to take away the briny, fishy
to,
flavor.
all of the lemon.
Take a picture. This will be the episode
And then,
artwork.
All right, so
Oh God, I'm touching it.
you are touching it.
Jesus. No. Where's the napkin?
You're gonna be eating it in a
I
second.
need a napkin.
Gross, right?
Jesus, take the wheel.
Like pain to touch it. Okay, so this is cocktail. I'm gonna put cocktail sauce on mine. I don't.
anything to get the taste out. I'm just already.
Okay. And then Tabasco, if you want to burn your taste buds
Yes,
off.
that sounds
so
like a
you,
great plan.
Don't have to taste it anymore. There you go.
Okay.
All the things you have to put on it just to make it palatable.
Just to make it even close to being palatable.
Okay, so we have it all dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you ready to do this? Is this the first time we've had somebody try weird food on this show?
Yeah.
This should be a new thing,
I'm thinking
man.
we're going to have a whole new YouTube show. that
Yeah,
we're
I'm
gonna
all
do.
about this. I will eat all sorts of weird stuff. Ready?
Nope.
Oh well, your water's arriving, so
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Whitney's.
All right.
Anything else, please let me know.
Thank you. Ready? And 3, 2, 1.
Oh! If you could see her face.
She's not making any. Oh, there's
Oh,
noise.
there it is. Oh.
That looks disgusting.
It wasn't that bad.
That's pretty gross.
It looks disgusting.
Your face right now.
Yeah, drink that water.
It was the
Drink that water. It's its natural habitat.
It was that final, like, chewing it is fine. It's the swallow where it's like you swallowed part of it and then the rest of it slid down the throat after it, and you're like, oh god.
That little tail chaser.
That was an experience that I will never be having again.
Come to San Diego. Have an oyster.
Come to City. Do a podcast, Lauren. It'll be fun.
Well, thank you, Lauren. I hope that doesn't, ruin your taste for our show.
Oh no, just a taste for oysters.
But it was Whitney's fault. I'm just gonna say.
100%.
I think oysters are delicious, and I think we found a new thing that we should do on this show: make people eat weird foods for the first time and see their response. Because that was, I feel satisfied in my taste buds. I feel satisfied in my soul having seen you consume that. That was just all over satisfying.
I'm so glad. So glad.
Oh, too funny.
All right, I think that's the end of our show, folks.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sitting down with us down here. Thank you for coming and braving the train and then
Don't throw
braving
up,
the
Lauren.
oyster.
So bad.
Well, what's really great is when it comes back to revisit you in a couple hours.
Don't talk about that.
My buddy, we were in New Orleans. I'm just going to drop this last little story. We were working in New Orleans, and he'd never done oysters before either. But we went to the Acme Oyster Bar, and he was determined to like get into it, and just go to town, right? So I got a gumbo because I had no interest in doing the oysters, and he ordered a dozen oysters, and he like swallowed down first one, just shucked it down. And he's like, oh my God, this is so good. And he proceeded to completely finish that plate, all 12 of them, and then ordered 12 more.
Oh.
And dumped all those. The next day at work was quite the experience.
Oh no.
The whole day he was green. He's just like, I don't think that's sitting well. I'm like, because you ate like a whole reef.
And really, it only takes one bad one to really ruin your day.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, I applaud your courage eating that.
I ate a lot of weird things in China, but
Yeah, Asia.
that was something.
Yeah, they have the 1,000-year-old eggs.
Yes, they do.
In
Do you ever get the hankering for a black egg and then you know where to go?
Do they have balut in China? The duck embryo egg? They have Filipinos eat it all the time.
I'm sure they do. I never came across it. I think they were smart enough to keep it away from the pasty white person.
Yeah, Philippines they sell an egg called balut, and it's a almost ready to hatch duck embryo.
Oh my God.
Like
No, I've not.
there's a
eaten one of
beak,
those.
there's eyes, there's down feathers and everything. You
not-
crack the thing open, suck it down like you do an oyster. It's pretty gross.
No, I have.
When you're
Not done
laying
that.
on the beautiful white sand beach in the provinces and stuff, there are literally vendors walking with shoulder-mounted coolers, screaming out "bullet, bullet," and people are just buying them by the truckload off of these walking vendors on the beach in the heat, popping open the shell, sucking them down on the beach.
Sure. Nothing surprises me anymore.
It's fun.
As was this. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
It was really great to
This
be
was
here.
Fun interview.
Yeah.
Thank you again, and I'd love to follow up with you in a couple of years and see if Joss Whedon has magically appeared.
It's gonna happen.
One can only hope. I've put it out there now, so hopefully he'll give me a call.
Like a leprechaun.
There it is, yeah. So this is the Intellectual Podcast. I'm Dave Dawson.
I'm Whitney Wegman.
And we've been sitting with...
Lauren Shell.
There it is. And Joss Whedon.
Yes.
Until next time. Bye. Thank you for joining us once again on the Intellectual Podcast. If you're looking for more things to listen to, be sure to check out the Gonna Geek Network. We're a proud member of Gonna Geek. You can find all sorts of fantastic content at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out the podcast, All Things Good and Nerdy. This week, they take a look at MoviePass, and host Chris explains some of MoviePass's issues and why he's ready to cancel the service. And Anthony has all the details on the final acquisition of Fox by Disney. Check it out this week on All Things Good and Nerdy, another member of the Gonna Geek Network at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.